So today's day one. We just set up our camp. It's already been quite rainy and thunderstormy. Tomorrow we're going to be pretty light when we're going down the river. We won't have all of our overnight equipment like we will the following day. That'll give the chance for the canoe team to get their bearings working together.
A big draw and appeal for this type of trip for me is these larger national parks like this. Yellowstone has more visitors than any other national park. Kind of has a stigma that you can't get the true wilderness experience that you would in wilderness areas or national forests or whatever. When in fact, if you look at the large tract of land behind me, there's huge portions where you could get kind of the Alaska feel here in the lower 48. Other members of the group have not done this type of trip before, camping, extended periods of time out of a kayak, but we've all been, friends for the better part of a decade, and we've done large expedition style trips in the past. So I think that everyone on the trip is competent. They could all kind of take care of themselves, and so they're good people to bring in kind of a dangerous style of sport or a dangerous style of camping trip, but I think they're more than competent to be able to do this successfully. With that being said, tomorrow being able to run a long section of mild water with empty boats, kind of decreased consequences, I think is a good opportunity for them to kind of get comfortable in doing this, working as a team, learning how to read water, which will be extremely valuable Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday when we'll be further out in the backcountry of Yellowstone.
Came in and it took up like maybe an inch of water. Another wave came in and now there's 3 inches of water. By the time we were done with a 100-yard stretch of a class 2 rapid, we've had 4 inches of water. The key to canoeing is having a strong team and always working together. Never stop paddling. Never give up. Just keep going.
No, we don't know that.
He's by himself.
Yeah, he's by himself.
We gotta walk around.
Either right here or we go through the trees.
You're gonna take turns though. Let's move the boat.
We might have to go around that way as we walk in.
So we're stuck here because of this log jam. We have to make our way around it.
Freaking out some way. Hopefully he just takes it.
He's just cruising along, waiting for us to show up.
There is no right way.
Wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh,
He could have been.
The wrong way is to go by yourself, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took the wrong way because he's not with the group. He could have gone through. So we're finishing the last mile before we get to our takeout point, and the canoe team was pulling over onto the bank back there to bail some water out of the boat, and they had a cow moose and a calf stand up about 50 yards from them, which is pretty exciting. Fortunately it wasn't aggressive or anything, it just kind of went into the bushes, but just goes to show you that when an animal's bedded down and you're pulling off on the side and there's thick vegetation, you really don't know what's there. And definitely got our hearts pumping a little bit. We thought it was a bear at first when it was standing up. They got the water bailed out, now we're just finishing up the last little leg here. Lance got separated from us on one of the braided forks, so we're assuming he continued downstream and made it to the takeout point. He should be well ahead of us, but we don't know.
We made it all the way down the river, 18 miles or so. George coming in like a hot mess, has a broken paddle, broken rudder. This paddle's actually broken in 2 parts. Now we're doing all the maintenance we can do. So we got to a later start than we wanted to this morning due to getting some permits. You see, this is the people's land. You can have some fun, but you gotta get a permit. This morning we crossed Lewis Lake. Now we're making our way up the Lewis Channel. The water's too shallow and too much of a current for us to paddle up, so we gotta get out of our boats and tow them.
Look at the map, but I want to say it's about 3 miles, and we probably paddled about 1.5 miles of the 3. It's just difficult gauging how far we've actually hiked in it or paddled in it because we're paddling upstream, and that, you know, going against the current definitely throws off your estimates. And then when you're hiking in knee-deep to waist-deep water with big uneven cobbles you're standing on and towing a boat, it obviously feels a lot longer than it probably is. I think we hiked probably 1 mile to 1.5 miles, and it definitely took longer than expected. We were probably camped another 5 to 6 miles down Shoshone to the southwest, and as Kevin talked about earlier, we got a super late start, and we were kind of on the cusp of if we should continue with this late of a start. How much navigating in the dark are we gonna have to do? How much navigating through this kind of bare terrain are we gonna have to do late in the day?
So the first thing that we're going to go over is getting somebody out of here, because not every medical situation is going to be trauma. So we'll use the canoe. We'll put the patient in the middle of the canoe while 2 people take it to the rescue point, whatever that may be. Here, man. Something for you.
Two apples. When we store, we should put this stuff that's fragile in the hard shell.
You got 2 apples. No, those are... So we made it to our second camp spot. Got some good food in us, some steaks actually. Now we're gonna pack up for a quick day trip, go do some hiking, check out the geysers. Should be a good time.
So we're back here at the Shoshone Geyser Basin, and we haven't seen a single other person. We kind of have this whole place to ourselves. There's geysers everywhere, there's vents, there's mud, boiling mud pots. We've seen bones, we've seen a lot of really cool stuff without all the traffic that's associated with places like Old Faithful, which is 20-30 miles from here on a daily basis, easily has 50 to 100,000 people that go visit it. And with a little grit, hard work, and a lot of paddling, you can get back to a place like this and experience Yellowstone in kind of its wild form that not too many people get to do. So even in America's busiest national park, it is pretty easy with some research and some work to kind of get to see it in its purest form, which is pretty cool.
I got somebody's Crocs.
That's mine.
All right,
Thank you.
no worries.
So we just got back to the campsite from the geyser basin, where we were treated with a geyser that would shoot off about every minute and a half. Quite spectacular. It would shoot up about 20 feet in the air. No crowds like you would get at Old Faithful. We had it all to ourselves. The crew's been great. Everybody's been pitching in, whether it's cooking, cleaning up the pots and pans, hauling up gear from the kayaks and canoe, or hanging the bear bag. This crew's really tight and really coming together, and everybody's putting in their fair share to get things done on this trip.
Mi experiencia en este camping trip con mis amigos es muy maravilloso.
Being connected to that world out there, that is stress. Being out here, you got two things: survive and live.
I don't know. Can you? Yeah. Almost. This is gonna be tough. I don't like it.
Here's rope. Is it that time for us? Yeah. Woo! Feels fresh.
So right now we're leaving our campsite on the northwestern side of Shoshone Lake and headed to our final campground. We have a storm coming in. We've rigged up a experimental sail on this boat and are going to attempt to make the crossing to avoid getting swept out into the open water.
Tomorrow we'll do some more of the touristy things around
Yosemite.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
yeah.
Sorry, Yellowstone.
It's hard. You always want to say Yosemite.
But yeah, we're cooking pretty much the rest of the food. That way tomorrow, just heat it up and get going. This is actually a really good campsite where we're at.
Pretty epic.
Right out of the river mouth. First campsite, I believe it is. It's pretty nice, actually.
So this is the best one so far. This is the best campsite so far.
We don't have to carry most of the stuff uphill, so that's actually a positive.
If we want to wake up early,
I want to see some stuff.
Kevin wakes up early, huh?
Kevin will do it. Lance will do it too, actually.
Don't worry, just sit back and relax,
before
dude.
anyone gets
The
up.
great part about tomorrow, it's all downhill. You can sleep.
We did a 5 a.m. wake up before sunrise this morning, and was actually able to pack down camp within about 45 minutes, get everything loaded up in the boats. We had some leftover food from the night before, which kind of expedited things a bit, and now we've got about a 10-mile paddle ahead of us, 3 of which is down current, which is nice. Assuming that we don't get stuck in the shallow sandbars on the way back, we probably should make it back 6 a.m. now, by 10:30, 11 o'clock, I'd imagine.
Ready?
Ready. Backwards.
С неба станцевал.